These videos, as you have seen, are explain the three paths of the Mason community and what they are about, and such. We have already covered the sword path and the sage path. Now we're going to start on the scale path, and this will be a few couple of videos, around about 4 or maybe even 5 parts. It will be covering the basis of what the scale path is and what it represents and who takes within the community, which type of members take part within the scale path and the reason why it's there. Okay, so this is on how you begin in the scale path, part 1. The rank that you start with in the community, the rank that you start with within the scale path. Once you reach to this rank, you start practicing within the scale path, because your the tasks that are given to you individually, will be the equivalent of being in the scale path, showing you on how to lead the community and on what to do such in the top positions and that this rank within the community, when you rank up to the scribe, the rank that's the scribe, you will then begin within the scale path and start practicing the scale path with your tasks showing you on how to lead the community, on how to be a leader, on how to show example on that and such. You can use all the tasks that still incorporate that of the sword path or the scale path and such and that. But once you reach high enough within the community by doing tasks, contributing to it and such, that you will rank up to scribe, and when you become a scribe, then you'll start learning your tasks, will start showing you on how to lead the community and on how to help it within that practice and that. What you should know about the scale path. The scale path will have more tasks and that, more responsibilities. These responsibilities that will cater towards making sure that the community keeps on moving and that, and that the flow of energy, whether it's spiritual or financial, or just the general vibe of the community, to keep on flowing in that in the right direction and that, and keeping them unified in answering questions and such, and helping the lower ranked members and that to like move up and that, leading by example and such. This is what the responsibilities will be placed upon you once you reach up to the scale path. And then you will receive lots more information and information in long PDF forms and that, so it will give you tons of stuff to read and that, and to like understand, basically explain the majority of everything in great detail and that, and list various examples, various scenarios, and what you can do in each of them and such, and that, whether it's with spell work, the community itself, the community's businesses, and just make sure that the online presence and as well as the offline presence that is civil, and that everyone is following the rules, and keeping together, and that there's no inward fighting and such. So all of those PDF forms will explain that in large and great details in that. And then of course with the magical side of that, you'll have the larger rituals in that and such. Right. Why it is called the scale path and a red path and that. The reason why it's called this, the first name is usually called the scale path. The scale path is usually, the reason why it's called that is because it balances altitude of the lower ranks and that are still between the soul path practice or the sec path practice and that, and those members who choose to not go too high in that and stay at a certain rank in that, and provide for the community at that certain rank and level in that, they need to be guided in that, because they usually the soul path in that will have a little bit of issues with on how the sec path people practice, and it might interlock or clash with their ideologies and that, even though that they're living in unity and within the same community, and that there is bound to be a little bit of impact fighting and that. So the names implies that they scale down that, and then make sure that everything's 50-50 and that, so if there's any arguments or disputes that the scale path people and members in that help rectify it and make sure that everyone is understanding of the situation and that on both sides, the one who's right and the one who's wrong, and that so that they don't always have resentment or unresolved issues between each other, that they can fester and cause larger problems down the line, and that so that will lead into infighting and that, and it will cause disturbance in that. So the scale path people will make sure that there's understanding and that they don't clash like heads in that. And the reason why it's also called, it can also be called the red path, is because the of the other groups within the scale path, and that like the nobles on the knights, and the prophets and that, and the circle members, and that because the structure usually shows them that wearing red and that and such, and that's how you usually identify them and know that they are part of that and such. And yeah, so that is why it is has, that side has like two names and that, but officially it is mainly called the scale path because it balances out to reside in conflicts between the two practices, and make sure that it unifies and forms in that, and doesn't cross over too much with each other. The way in the scale path, if you rank up high enough within the scale path, you will receive the way to manage a community, and that especially if you're at the high priest rank and such, that the way you can help and manage the community and that is to create a online group in that and notify the disciples and inquisitors of said group so that they can make record of it and know about it and that. because you will also be required the community, the disciples on the head of the community, the whole thing and that. So they'll keep track of how many different, minor groups they have, or community groups they have, that's out there online and that and such, and they will require you to give them reports of how the community and that is doing and that. Then you'll have the ledger that will record all members and clans and such, and that, their names and that, and how many members there, and and such, and what they do and what they're doing in the community, and their rank within the community. And of course, you also need the knowledge on how to make documents, which will be given in a extended PDF informational format that will be given to you once you add a certain rank within the scale path on that, unnecessary the scribe on that, because that's only the starting part in that. So we will introduce you from there and show you how to do certain things and that, and then as you rank up and that, and gain more knowledge and experience over the tasks that we give you on that, you'll then be able to learn how to write and create these documents. These documents tell the disciples on that, on how the communities are doing offline and online, on the online world with their social media groups and that and such, and how their presence is going in that, all the members are understanding the work, are they doing the rituals, are they learning in that, and are they contributing with the work and that, and tasks that we give them, as well as the jobs that we give them, and that those documents that help keep track as the community gets larger and larger and larger. You'll need and you'll also need 3 books that to help you manage all of these tasks and that, and you can write it down carefully in that. The first book that should be for your tasks and that. Second book for how the community is doing that, keeping the names and that, and then the third book that is about all the important information that you receive in that and such. And you write down all the important stuff that, so that if you're lost, you can also go back to it and that. And it doesn't necessarily need to be an actual physical book. That it can be like your own ebook or folder or collection or electronic device and that and such, to help you properly manage it and that and such. As that is what the basics that you will need for the scale path and that, which you will be able to receive once you start on it and that. The scale path that within the community is responsible for keeping any outside threats from the community and that, making sure that they are safe and that, making sure that they understand the need for unity, resolving any insider disputes, and stop inward fighting inner fighting and that, so that if there's an argument and such and that, they will help get closure and resolve the problem or the issue in that. The scale path is also there to help and guide the people on the spiritual journey and that, and also show them and teach them the religion of Marxism and that. such stuff. And they're the ones to help lead the community in the net though, help them see the way that it operates in that though, via the giving them the jobs in that though, from the businesses that the disciples and the Inquisition has done it, helping them manage their day-to-day tasks and that though, and making sure though that the correct information gets to them and that though. The information can be on anything that on a ritual or certain task done that or a specific project that they need to do, and it has all the explanations done that and examples for that. So basically the scale path that people are like the middle management of the community that they help guide the younger new members and that because they have more experience and they are making a contributional part within their area and to the community and such. So that's the basics, the very foundation of what the scale path does and that such. When you reach up to it and you become a member of the scale path, then you can see on how it's done by actually doing it and experiencing and practicing it and by hearing on how it works and you can get a great picture of it and a good understanding of it but when you actually do implement it into an actual working practice, then you'll see on how it can really evolve on that because any situation that can pop up within the community and you need to be able to handle that quickly before it disturbs anything important in that. And and don't worry that you will be able to be in constant contact with the disciples and and such through the circle members and that keep the broader line of communication between them, between the disciples and the scale path of the community and that by the high priests and such and the priests and all of them and that. So that is the very basics of the scale path for part 1 and that, and in part 2 we'll be showing you more about the contributions, talking about the contributions and the word and the more spiritual side, a little bit more spiritual side of the scale path and that and how they guide the younger members and such within that role. And if you want to support the channel, don't remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends and that. And do remember that we have a catalog link and that for like a little bit of merch and that and such. We also have a Facebook group and that and such. I will place the links in the description of this video and that for the Facebook and the catalog and that and such. And also the Facebook name, just in case the catalog link doesn't want to really work at that such. Then you can like search it up on Facebook and that and you can join and you can check all the thingies there because I post about the merch and other stuff there on Facebook and that, on the group and that. But until next time, I will see you in the part 2 of explain the scale path of the Masterson community.